views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Trinidad and Tobago, good afternoon. It is a wonderful, blessed Tuesday. I always call every day a wonderful day, even though you may not feel up to it. But as I always say, we have to give God praise and thanks for us seeing another day in the land of the living. And in order, we are able to speak, to experience, to witness. A lot of us didn't get to see that today. And even just at a murder, we're waiting on further updates. Just at a murder in Red Hill, a guy lost his life in Red Hill, Dabadi, through gun violence. So you see, sometimes you're here today and gone tomorrow. You get up this morning with the spirit of here, what I'm going to conquer, I'm going to do this today. You make your plans, you make your plans since the night before. You get up this morning, you drink your tea or you drink your juice, you eat your breakfast, and you made your plans. Not knowing those plans would not happen due to either you get a heart attack, an aneurysm, gun violence, an accident, who knows? So that's why every day, every minute, even in your mind sometimes, you always have to give God a little thank you. Say, God, I thank you. It don't have to be no long 5-minute prayer or a 2-minute prayer, but just showing him that gratitude and saying, Lord, thank you. You eat, Lord, thank you. Simple things like that. Even though it has some that do not believe in the God or Jesus or whatever, you believe in, but there's a higher being. A lot of people believe in the higher power. You still give the universe thanks. That is what we have to do. We have to give the universe thanks. Even though what some people call an atheist, you still give the universe thanks. But because without the universe, we can't eat, breathe, or live how we want to live. So we still have to show gratitude. As the people say, gratitude is a must. You must show gratitude. So today is a beautiful Tuesday. I didn't look outside to see how the weather is. I know when I came in, it was a bit sunny. I don't know if now we are experiencing some overcast conditions because I know the weather report said in the next 24 hours we will experience a little bad weather. But I just saw that we got some rain yesterday on our side. I don't know who got, rainy weather in wherever part of Trinidad and Tobago you are. And then to touch on today, Mercedes Lane is going to be laid to rest. So she left from the Pittsburgh area from the funeral home in the Pittsburgh area in San Juan. And she is going to drive all across Trinidad to her home village in Erin, where she will be laid to rest at 1 p.m. So, at 1 p.m., we could just stand up a little quick. May her soul rest in peace. And, you know, may she finally rest. Although I know she's not resting. And her mom was in the hospital from last week, Wednesday, where she started to deteriorate, you know, concerning the grief, the death of her daughter. And she was able to get discharged to attend her daughter's funeral this afternoon. So, you know, prayers up for moms as well, because it's an easy, I tell you, it's an easy losing a child. It's not a good experience, because in your mind, as I said before, a parent is always saying that the child is supposed to bury and not the parent burying the child. So condolence again to the family as they lay that precious soul to rest. But yesterday, I can't remember, I think it's yesterday, that bacchanal in the parliament. Accusations. It is alleged, because I say it's alleged, because there's something called parliamentary privileges that they have. I sit along behind this chair, so me had no courthouse clothes. But it is alleged that TNTech protected list controversy has become one of the most discussed political issues in Trinidad and Tobago this week. According to statements made in Parliament by Prime Minister Kamla Posabi-Sasa, it is alleged that a confidential list existed within the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission that allowed certain individuals, organizations, and political figures to avoid electricity disconnections despite having outstanding bills. She argues that while ordinary citizens and businesses face the possibility of disconnection for non-payment, some accounts allegedly receive special protection. The Prime Minister said the matter raises questions: equal treatment of citizens, accountability within state agencies, transparency in public administration, whether political influence affected utility enforcement decisions. The controversy has intensified after additional allegations were raised regarding a TNTech legal matter involving millions of dollars and claims of misconduct connected to previous administrative decisions. So I didn't see it. She said it, and I have a clip. She brought out this alleged list, and I hope if the list is true, because it would be very sad to know that this list is a bogus one. So I have a clip where names were called, and she made her statement in Parliament. So if we can play that clip.
Some advised men that TNTech should not disconnect persons who were lucky enough to be on that list, even though they did not pay their bills. That was what the secret protected list was. Let me call some of those names, Mr. Speaker. That protected list, so the public can judge yourself. Keith Rowling, Sharon Rowley, Marvin Gonzalez, Penelope Beckles, Foster Cummins, Donna Cox, Renuka Sagram Singh, Nayan Gatsby Dolly, Kazim Hussain, Terence Dayal Singh, Shamfa Kujo, Simon De Nobriga, Fitzgerald Hines, Alison West, Rohan Sinanan, Hassel Bacchus. And here this one and the others will take me too long. Listen to this. People's National Movement Tobago Council.
Shame.
People's National Movement Tobago Council.
That's a party headquarters.
When I read it, I thought, maybe this is a THA. No. This is the PNM Tobago Council on a protective list, not to cut the bills, not to cut electricity, even though they had not paid their bills.
So that was the statement made by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. But then the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago refuted those statements, and he responded. He said I am unaware of being on any list at Tiantec. I pay all my electricity bills as and when they become due at properties in Trinidad and Tobago. That holds good for my wife as well. I have never requested nor was offered any protection from Tiantec billing operations. For all those who think we have a prime minister looking after the serious business of managing the country's affairs, I have already advised you that what we have is a hateful dictatorial, I don't know if I could use this word that he wrote here, who wishes to be feared like her mentor. I would not use that word, because as a woman, I would not repeat that word. I wouldn't even say it publicly. So I would not, woman to woman, I cannot go forth with that. But that was the statement of the former Prime Minister. So my personal view is we are at a point in Trinidad and Tobago where important issues that is circulating in our homes, communities, in our country, that at this point in time, the real matters that we're supposed to focus on is not being focused in the parliament. There are so many issues, social issues, that are affecting us in Trinidad and Tobago that we need to focus on and make a number one priority that is not being focused on in today's parliament. But rather than continuous banter and chaos, you sit home and you wonder what is really the affairs that is being addressed in our country, and you would not know. Because the amount of back and forth banter and things that are not being addressed or questions that are not being answered, it makes no sense at this point in time. I watch the Parliament channel. Because I ain't hearing nothing of essence for me to say, okay, well, here what? They're planning to do this for this social issue. Okay, we're looking to move forward. No, it makes no sense personally to me. If I want to hear confusion and bacchanal, I go on the Parliament channel right now. If I want a little excitement, go on the Parliament channel. Because right now, it is not making me feel like things are being done at this point in time. So everybody just home, sit down on pause. We just home, sit down on pause, waiting like you're waiting for the eclipse. Sit down on pause, waiting to see what is the next step. Teachers who are waiting for their back pay that was offered since however long, they're waiting for the eclipse. People with social issues that's supposed to get certain grants, they're home waiting for the eclipse. Up to now, I have not heard anything that addresses the people of Trinidad and Tobago. All I hear of limitations, backbiting, slurs, but nothing to the benefit of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And when we here scraping to make $1 to go in the grocery, or they're making confusion in parliament and collecting a big salary. Make it make sense. Why we must be home like hopeless dogs, waiting and hoping that we see the eclipse, when all you're down there like crab in barrel. So who we really supposed to trust? Who we really supposed to look up to? Who we really supposed to have faith in? That is why this generation, Gen Z, them ain't even have no hope themselves. Because them are all waiting for the eclipse. Right now, Trinidad and Tobago is stagnant. Only breeding mosquito. Imagine, we supposed to be the apple of the Caribbean. And we looking like the rotten mango that fall on the ground. Bachak biting it. When the rest of the Caribbean is moving forward. We just sit down here stagnant, don't even know what's going on. And the rest of the Caribbean pushing forward, finding solutions, how to make the country a better place, even though they don't have the finances that we have. But they're finding a way. They go have the banter, you know. But it ain't bad like this. Right now, the rest of the islands have we like a joke. When they're supposed to say, hey, I wonder what Trinidad and Tobago going and do next to make it great. It's a joke. But we're going for a break, and when we come back, we want to talk about transparency because we're going down the line today. So we're going for a break, and when we come back, bridging the gap.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
Welcome back. So, we're talking about the behavior that goes on in the parliament. Questions are not being answered. But what all Trinbagonians are asking for is transparency. And the most important transparency law is the Freedom of Information. That act was in 1999. We have the right to know what is going on in every ministry in our country. Students must be updated what's going on in the Ministry of Education. People with disability, old age people, displaced people should know what's going on in the Ministry of Social Development. Children who in sports supposed to be updated on what's going on with sports, how their future is. The people who are farmers should be updated on a regular basis on what is going on in the Ministry of Agriculture. Well, it's not so much ministry. I know all the ministries, Everybody needs to account for what goes on in each ministry. Why I must have to, because not everybody tech savvy, not everybody have a computer, not everybody have a phone, not everybody have internet. Senior citizens must always be updated at least twice a month on what is going on in the country. Because not all of them tech savvy. Why I must sit down home and wonder how far or what I could get or what grant is available. I went on one of the ministry pages just for spite. And it has not been updated since 2024. Just for spite. I said, let me play Mako. A country, when you are in control or in charge of the workings of what's going on in our country, it be infrastructure, it could be whatever. At least the country should know exactly what is going on. And right now, the country wants to know what's going on with the crime situation. We want to update. I should not have to come. When I come to you, you refuse to answer. You don't want to talk. Well, if you want to talk, make a little video and give an update. Where it can go on your ministry page if you don't want to answer certain questions from different media houses or whatever. Make a video and give an update. Bring it across the TV. That is what you're supposed to be doing at this point in time. Transparency. You're going in certain ministries, you're trying to get certain information. Like deer in headlights inside a day. Them and all and even know. So transparency is one of the greatest acts, the act of information. Public authorities are generally required to respond within 30 days, subject to certain exemptions such as national security, cabinet documents, law enforcement matters, and personal privacy. integrity and anti-corruption measures. The Integrity in Public Life Act established the Integrity Commission to promote ethical conduct among public officials, monitor declarations, and help prevent corruption in public office. Open government and open data. Trinidad and Tobago joined the Open Government Partnership and developed initiatives aimed at increasing transparency. That is a lie. Because up to now I can't see it yet. But we're still waiting on the eclipse. Certain citizen participation and public access to government data through open data platforms. If you go on certain websites, there are information that's supposed to be updated and it's not even available. It's not even available. So when you home now and you're trying to say, oh, good, let me see if I could find out, it's not there. It's not there. It's a such a thing from how much from the last administration. Now that you are there, the honeymoon is over. The wine and dine, the ham, lamb, and jam is over. Now it's time to address the issues that is taking place in the country, update whatever needs to be updated, where it is accessible to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that is their right. I should not, if I live in Quaitalpa or I live in somewhere, I have to come down to Independence Square to get information, take bus in Hudson, because I can access certain information on the website. Come now, man. What we doing? I don't know if we're playing hopscotch, moral, cricket, slip and slide. What's going on? Well, it had to be love and hip-hop. Love and hip-hop in the parliament. Parliamentary transparency. Parliament publishes agendas, debates, bills, and other legislative information allowing citizens and the media to follow government decision-making and legislative activity. Where that is? No, I want to know where it is. Oversight institutions. The Office of the Ombudsman investigates complaints of administrative injustice and can review certain freedom of information disputes when access to information is denied. Why is it a major public issue? Transparency often becomes a trending topic when questions arise. Government spending, state contracts and procurement, public utilities and state enterprises, political appointments, access to public information, what I just addressed there, allegations of preferential treatment, where the recent debates surrounding the alleged with the TNTEC protected list have reignited public discussion about whether all citizens and organizations are treated equally and whether the state agencies operate with sufficient transparency and accountability. That I could understand, there's questions that you will ask. But what I am saying is, there are different types of transparency, but the transparency we need right now is what is going on at this moment in our country. Because we're in a state of emergency and there's no transparency. We have crime, no transparency. Children getting raped and killed, no transparency. Old people going through sufferation still with social welfare, no transparency. So where the transparency? I can remember the days of information division. When that information division that used to show on the TV, I think, once a week with Andy Johnson. And he used to bring information on different ministries, giving accounts on the workings, what is going on, the process, giving an account, because with information division, each ministry had to give him information for you to know. But we sit down home, and all we hear is confusion. Think to raise your pressure. Think for your vein to raise in your neck. Nothing to comfort the minds of people in Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing for people in Trinidad and Tobago to say, okay, well, if so-and-so is the case, well, we might have to wait a little 3 months again because they tell us that that's the update. I have not seen not one ministry come out with a full-fledged video of what is going on here today in Trinidad and Tobago. But we're going for a break. And the first part of the show is transparency, because that's what we want right now. We want to hear no kakaka, no old talk, and no blah blah. We want transparency. That's what we're asking for. So we're going for a break, and when we come back, bridge any gap.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
I want to ask. Why in the most highest places, like the parliament, just have that kind of, what people is the quote-unquote rum shop behavior? When I find the people in the rum shop have more behavior than all you. All embarrassing saying, I mean, it's how other parts in the world where man just pick up chair and pelt and hit and whatever. But the difference is, it will have the physical fight and the bacchanal and whatever, but things are being addressed. They don't go in circles. Only like dog chasing all their own tail. Only expect children to behave in school when all they do is no behavior in public office. All they do no behavior in parliament, but they want to come and tell all here. They want to see some all here going to school to go and be no motivational speaker, you know. Motivate yourself. I want to see some all here going in no secondary school and telling children be a success and big and live good and all again like dog, you know. Inside the parliament, you know. Stay away from that. Choose your battles wisely. Because that battle it's in some all your own. Because until all can set an example, then all can step foot in a school. If all go in the school, smile, wave, and leave. Don't go and advise and get no children, no motivational speech. Because all they're showing me that all they're worse than them school children and them. If all they can pick up chair and fight, all they do that a long time. All they would do that a long time. But because children they go small. And some of all they just try to hold, you know, all their composure. I know some always want to pick up chair and pelt. But if all they had to get on like that, go in the people in the children's school, smile, wave, they go to the pamphlet and leave the people's school, please. Don't be no motivational speaker. According to know your place. That ain't your place. Don't be no motivational speaker. So they say, while Trinidad and Tobago have transparency laws, critics and citizens have pointed out challenges, such as responding to the FOIA requests, limited public access to some government contract information, perceived lack of accountability in certain state agencies, and that is true. None of all they like to take accountability for the actions. None. All they like them stubborn people in a relationship. You don't want to take no accountability for your actions. So you disrespect the nation and stay silent. When you stay silent, you show that you have no respect for the nation. Plain talk, bad manners. If you can't answer me, and I pay my tax dollars, and I am a citizen, a born citizen of this country, and I am asking you a question, the person who is supposed to be running our country, and you cannot answer me, well, then you are blatantly disrespectful. You are a disrespectful person. You show plainly that you have no respect for whatever the concerns of the nation. Right now, our country is concerned. But when you are asked questions, you're blowing them back like if you are asthma. But I go leave that alone. Blowing them back like if you are asthma, asking a question of the state of the country, and you decide to blow in a bag. Like if you have asthma, and we supposed to sit on home and respect you. Well, it has some will, but I cannot tolerate something like that, knowing that we are in a crisis, and you are making our crisis into a joke. I tell you, the rest of the Caribbean laughing at we. CARICOM right now, we see joking CARICOM. I never fathomed. Yes, I know we were always in a bad situation. Administration come, administration go. Trinidad was in a mess. But we have gotten worse. But when we have gotten worse in a way where there's no explanation. They're doing what people doing what they want to do, people acting how they want to act, and there's no explanation for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But we have to sit down and wait for the eclipse. Public concerns about political influence and favoritism decision-making process. In simple terms, government transparency means citizens should be able to know how public money is spent, why decisions are made. Because I tell you all, you see this SOE? Yes, we have a state of emergency. Yes, we have, but there's no further explanation. So we must sit down with a crystal ball and play Cleo Call Me Now and try to interpret or try to see the future or to figure out what are the real reasons. What is the real crime plan? How are we going to protect our nation? It have no plan. I tell you, I gave you some solutions last week. I will put some holiday and write it down, you know. Or they have to get some proper solutions. Who benefits from the government actions? Whether laws are being applied fairly to everyone. And that is something else. That's our next thing too, transparency. If the laws are being applied fairly, and it is not. When transparency is a strong public trust, tends to increase. When information is withheld or special treatment is alleged, public scrutiny and demands for accountability typically grow. But we pass the stage at trust. We have no trust. Trust gone out the window. Right now, trust in Dubai. Nobody, plenty people, I'm telling you, about 75% of the nation have no trust. Because there's no accountability, there's no explanation, there's no transparency. Right now, when we walk out our homes or walk out our buildings, we are walking the streets of Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima, Diego Martin, Superior, like deer in headlights. Because when you walk out your house, you don't even know. All you just hear, it is limits. They tell you where your car go and protest. I never hear madness, so, but they tell you where your car go and protest 500 feet. They're telling us what we can't do. We can't do this, we can't do that, we can't. But tell us, what is the crime plan? We don't want to hear what we can't do. We want to hear what's the crime plan. Tell me what we can't do after. Give me the crime plan first, and then tell me what we can't do. I think we're going to respect you a little more. You can't go back to front. You can't come and tell me I can't do something and I don't know why I can't do it. I am telling you, this have so many loopholes. We are going to have walking millionaires when this SOE is over. No transparency. Our employment rate and underemployment, youth unemployment. A lot of people were promised how many thousands of jobs. And we still have young people home sitting there unemployed. So the transparency, it not only affecting one sector, you know, it's really affecting the youth. Young people suffering in Trinidad and Tobago today, besides some of them not growing up in proper homes, but we have to understand this. When there is no opportunity given to young people in Trinidad and Tobago, some of them tend to stray. And right now, the youth unemployment rates are generally higher than the older adults. For the past few months this year, I have seen so many people who I know is unemployed. I have seen, I spoke to a young guy the other day. And I asked him, I said, how come you're not working today? He said, girl, they let me go, I'm not working, I'm home. I said, so how you making out? How you making out in terms of living on a daily basis because he has a sick mother? And he said, girl, right now we're living off a pension, and most of our pension have to go to our medication because a lot of senior citizens don't get all the medication under CEDAP. So they still have to push in the pocket and spend, and a lot of medications are very expensive. So they are literally living off of a senior citizen pension because he lost his job. He was one of them that lost their jobs. Many young people struggling to find jobs that match the qualification and skills. Thousands of jobs were promised. Thousands. And I have not seen with my own two eyes a great amount of young people employed at this point in time. We have young people that went to school, study hard, and no work. But they can't come out and be transparent to tell people where the 1,000 jobs that you all offered young people to apply. But we're going for a break, and when we come back, we have more Bridging the Gap.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
I am Walter Stewart, President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations Incorporated. Join us every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, where we look at NPTA Speaks, National Parent-Teacher Association Speaks, on topical and relevant issues pertaining to parents, teachers, education, and students of Trinidad and Tobago. This, of course, encapsulates local, regional, and international audiences every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, NPTA Speaks.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
wanted to get the facts all here. Because it was promised. The creation, they wanted, has a targeted the creation of over 20,000 public sector jobs alongside several specialized vocational and technology initiatives, assuming you meant the current year 2026. The employment landscape, so this was promised, the 20,000 job national recruitment drive. Where the drive? 20,000 job recruitment drive, where is the drive? So, when you promise me that I am a young person, I start to get excited. Anxiety all in my pants. So I had hope now that here what? I could see a little brightness for 2026. Even if it's a little stipend in my pocket. I've seen a little sunshine peeking through, slowly but surely. Where is the 20,000 job recruitment? I only saw one thing with a telephone company, which was 3 months. After that, I didn't hear anything about it. Where's the recruitment drive? Young people still waiting on that. Because right now, plenty young people struggling to find jobs that match, and I say they match your qualifications or skills. Limited work experience, it could be difficult. So when you tell them, because and why I always say I find it dotish, because when you go to get a job, they tell you need 2 years experience. If I know come out of school, I can get 2 years experience. So when you said you are creating this initiative that was say transparency, so the 20,000 not waiting for the job, up to now they know what's going on, they're like day and headlights. Give us an update and account. I tell you, I don't go with talking, I like to see actions. Because if you promise something, do it. If you know you're not able, that's why in politics, they always teach you. You do not promise people anything. You would tell them that you would try to. Because promise is something that every day always keep in the mind. You promise me this. So they're holding you accountable for that. Rather, you better to just say, you know what, I go try. But when you promise 20,000 jobs, and I home waiting to get a little experience. So when I'm ready to apply for the job that I want to, I have the qualifications and I have the experience. Because plenty of jobs don't want to spend no money to train nobody. That money they're going to waste. So they will quicker go to somebody who has the experience, but you promise them young people that. And they're home excited. Ants in the pants, they start to get antsy, the dancing, yes man. So a little piece of sun go pick out. But you know what they do? They're home and they're still waiting for the eclipse. That is what's going on. So when that happens now, some of them will end up to crime and violence. Because you cannot open a promise to young people that hungry, the ones that really want to go out there, hungry and looking for it. You can't, exactly. Promises are comforter fool. Nobody can promise me until I start to see some kind of action. Let me see a little hope. Because you see this, I don't go with this. Action beat all talk. I talking in general, you know. Because I say in administration, come in, administration go. I hold everybody accountable across the board. Because don't come and tell me something. And then now, I sit down home, waiting. Sometimes every minute I might be going through the website to see whatever opening, if anything happening. You're buying papers like peas because you want to see if it have any, if the promise, really promising. But instead, I don't want to say a lie because we still have how many years again to go. So I'm not going to say that. I still gain all the hope. I gain all the little hope, you know. But when you tell people 20,000 job opportunities, initiatives for vocational and those who are academically inclined, and then it's home waiting because they put faith in you and they are home waiting and nothing in sight. Transparency. People owed money from since Christmas. That was Christmas in December. Next month is Christmas in July. What's going on? Transparency. Every 2 weeks, people getting updated with a still negotiating. Nobody don't want to hear that again. Can you give a date and you're supposed to stay? Keep your word. Keep your word. So now these young people, they have exposure because they have time on their hands. Not everybody will have the financial backing to open a little small business. We don't have Netco anymore, where people had hope with Netco, where you could have opened a micro business. They no longer give you loans for small businesses. So the little hope you had with Netco, you don't have that again. You don't have no financial backing. So what's going to happen? A lot of them going to exposure to gang activity, violence and crime in some communities. Some of them resort to a lot of, it may not be illegal, but things that is not becoming of a young person. Young people may be at a greater risk of becoming victims of crime or being recruited into criminal activity. And that should be all your concern. Not talking about who spend what and who get what free. I tell you, the days for that gone. The days of standing up in the platform and asking them kind of questions gone. Now we are looking for solutions. All we want to hear right now in Trinidad and Tobago is solutions. How are we going to fix it? How are we going to make it better? How can we recruit? That is what we need to, that's what we want to hear. I don't want to hear nothing about who was getting something free back in 3 years ago. We need now, we in 2026. What is the plan for the next coming years? Do you have a mandate? That is the question we want to ask. Do you have a mandate? And I'm not talking about the mandate, that small little book all gave away how many years ago, like a pamphlet. That is not a mandate. What is your mandate? Because right now, me don't care about no political party. Right now, I care who in charge of my country at this point in time. What is your solution? Because we have reached a point where we are literally fed up. We frustrated. We angry. We feeling uncomfortable. That's what's going on right now. How can you ease the people of Trinidad and Tobago frustration? I don't want to hear nothing about, I don't want to hear nothing else. Give us some sort of information that can give us some sort of a little comfort. Not confusion and bacchanal. I don't want to hear that. I can't go by Uncle Sam and pay a bill with that. All that sort of old talk going on in the parliament, you feel when it's time to go and pay a bill, I can go and tell them, well, like the confusion, I'm paying with the confusion and bacchanal in the parliament. Them don't want to hear that. Give the country the information and the explanation that they deserve. Our youth is of great importance. It should be on top of the list. But all you have, all the youths like hopeless case. Young people, they like hopeless case right now. They don't have no hope for today and tomorrow, you know. Right now, them in care if Sunday fall on a Monday because they have no hope. Imagine I go to school and I study hard. And I home, can't get to work. Imagine if you go on service commission now, on the page. Some of the things are even updated. It's not even updated earlier. And it is very disheartening to know that all I could do in the parliament is sit down to listen to confusion. And I don't even know what is my country's tomorrow. But now we are going for the break and we are on the top of the hour. So we deal about the young people. But one group that already treat like the forgotten people and I will deal with it. You see them people with disability are coming forward with that. I see all they talk too little thing, but I see no action yet. Transparency. We'll be right back.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us. I am Zalisa Budusing Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. is thermally and acoustically insulated, provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited, building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Hello everyone, I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlings, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
God, I'm coming clean, honest to God.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential, Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Welcome back. So, we're talking about transparency in Trinidad and Tobago. And only once I heard two statements concerning the disabled in Trinidad and Tobago. This was some months ago. I was hoping that they would have put things in place, action. What is very disturbing, and I don't know why we like to do this. When one administration leave, I don't care who it be, people who have applied from before, all they just want to review. So there was a person who applied about 2.5 or 3 years ago for disability because they suffer from mental issues. And when they went back to the Ministry of Social Development, they went to get an update on how their documents was processing because they are unable to work. So they have to depend on their children who have their own families to provide for. So the children will help as much as they could. And this person applied, waiting for a while to get disability grant. They went back to social development for an update. And they had the audacity to tell this individual, you will have to reapply again. And she asked why. Because all the documents they review, this administration review, some of them still under review and some of them the car fine. In this day and age, in the 21st century, documents that went in years ago and she went for an update because she was unable to maneuver and go to get updates beforehand. It was still under review and they can't find her documents. So she had to reapply, she had to go over the process. In this day and age. So she now have to sit down and probably go through the process again, which sometimes takes a year. Then another thing. Someone got a stroke, very young person in their 50 years old, got a stroke. And home, waiting to get a grant, and can't get it yet because they're telling them that to apply online. Yes, we're trying to upgrade and we're trying to diffuse the crowd where we will have too much people lining up, but there are people that do not have access to internet. So how this person now is going to access internet or a computer to get an appointment? These are the things that we are not putting into consideration, especially somebody, if the person, they're waiting on the money, the car work, how they getting money to pay for internet? They don't have a computer that apply online. They don't take no walk-ins. Like really? There are plenty senior citizens that do not have access to internet or probably just don't want internet because they don't know how to use smartphone or computers. Or they're not putting that into consideration, people with disability. In this day and age, I'm not only dealing with the physical alone, because disability does not apply to people who are physically unable. And you only don't care. Disability applies to children who have autism. Imagine, I have somebody special in my life that is autistic. And the only way he can access any vocational, if he's interested in doing so, he has to do it privately. In this day and age, all they educate all themselves about autism yet. You know how much children and adults are autistic in Trinidad and Tobago and all they don't even know? 26 levels of autism. And in this day and age, I went to an NGO, there was an NGO, they have something in Napa where they have with NGOs every year. With the UN, they came to Trinidad. And there were different groups. They had these different groups was there. Social development was there. When I saw a group, and this group is a church group, they're not government group. And I asked, so the government do not have anything for children that are autistic? They say, no, our group do it. In this day and age, all they can't update all they say. Nothing in place for people that are real autistic people in Trinidad and Tobago that you don't know. People working alongside you, normal, suffer from autism because there are 26 levels of autism. So this is not only the physical, you know. So when this are going back, when the person who had the stroke asked if there was any kind of group where he can do water exercises to regain strength back in half of his body. Social development says I'm nothing close by him. You know where he had to go? Somebody who gets stroke had to leave the home and go quite shagonas. In this day and age, nothing in place. So instead of you going out in the parliament to quarrel, be transparent and tell the nation what you have in place for people like these. Instead of talking a pack of nonsense that have nothing to do with the people of Trinidad and Tobago, digging up confusion, but not digging up solutions. And then you want the trust of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. How you can get the trust when you are not walking the walk? You just talking the talk. Yes, we're talking gubar. One set of gubar. Up to now, me see nobody walk the walk here. The only walk I see is police up and down Trinidad and Tobago. That's the only walk I see. The only walk I see is police and army walking up and down patrolling. Me see nobody else walk the walk yet. But no, I forget we're waiting on the eclipse. Limited accessibility. Some public buildings, sidewalks. Imagine all they still building with steps. And there are people with wheelchair. Well, they're not hats. Transportation systems and recreational facilities are not fully accessible, and I said that just now. Where my friend got a stroke and cannot utilize his right side of his body properly, and he was asking, is there anywhere where he can do some sort of water exercises? Is there anything for people who are disabled or who suffer a stroke? And they said, no. He had to leave the east. That is partially disabled to go quite shagonas, stress out the body, to go and do water recreational exercises. But no, wait. We're waiting for the eclipse. Thank you for the eclipse. That's what we're waiting on. Individuals who use wheelchairs or have mobility impairments may encounter physical barriers when accessing services, barriers to education. And that is true. Not all schools have adequate facilities, specialized equipment, or trained staff to support students with disabilities in this day and age. But we're waiting on the eclipse. Students with visual hearing, learning, or physical disabilities may face difficulties accessing quality education. Because a lot of children who have learning disabilities with dyslexia, autism, they have to go to private schools to get proper care and education because certain schools do not provide it for them. There's a child who has autism going to a school in the east, and you know what that school did? They put an X by his desk because he passed the age to move on. And the teacher is not trained or well equipped to deal with his issue. He is an autistic child, partially nonverbal. But because the parents do not have the money to send them to a private school, which is very expensive, they now have to police him there in the classroom, and they put an X by his desk. Because the teacher is not equipped to teach him. In this day and age. But what we doing? We're waiting on the eclipse. Employment challenges. People with disability often experience higher unemployment rates. And that is true. I know so many bright, educated people with disabilities that cannot get a job, that to stay home and wait for grants. You know what bright people I know? They're either blind, they're partially impaired, they can't walk, and they will not employ them because why? They have a disability. But we're waiting on the eclipse because you know what they're telling themselves? I don't want to have the patience to babysit you. When them suppose them have more brain to babysit you. When you feel them need babysitting, use the one that need babysitting. In this day and age, people with disability have to go through this. Imagine speech therapy, and I can tell all as a fact, speech therapy for 1 hour, and this was years ago, I don't know how much it is now, was $450 an hour for a child 1 day. So imagine if a child needs 4 sessions, how much money that parents have to pay. But we don't have that free in Trinidad. Where we have that free for speech therapy. But you know what? They're waiting for the eclipse. Some employers may have misconceptions about their abilities or may be reluctant to provide reasonable accommodations. Limited workplace accessibility can also create barriers. So, you have somebody with the brain, the ability to, and because you do not want to provide a workspace environment equipped and adequate for them, you would not employ them. That is what people with disability have to go through. Access to healthcare and support services. There are so many people that are disabled and cannot leave their homes and waiting for home care. Years can't get home care. But you stand on a platform and you tell people what you're going to do. And what you promise, I tell all your promises come for a fool. You promise this and you promise that, but these people lie down home waiting for the eclipse. Specialized healthcare therapy rehabilitation and assistive devices can be expensive or difficult to obtain. And I have a clip where one of our gracious, I'm going to call them gracious, Gamville. I want to be kind today. I want to be kind. One of our gracious ministers spoke about what are the plans for the people with disability, and I want all to hear too. Because if they promise that we should not wait for the eclipse then because they say it in Parliament. Remember, you can say anything in Parliament, you know, and get away with it. But they ain't going to say it outside on a platform, though. They ain't going to come outside and tell the public on a platform because you know they will ricochet you. So you go talk your old talk in the Parliament because you have Parliament privileges. Dress up in your suit, nice in the place, and sweeten up your chops. But they ain't going to come outside and say that on a platform because you know we going to hold you to task. But play this clip.
The rebranded Land for the Landless program makes specific provision for differently abled persons. First, we start with the application process. The application forms promotes inclusivity through a user-friendly online platform, while also facilitating in-person assistance for those who may require support, allow applicants to indicate whether they are or any member of their household is differently abled. And we have 5 ICT centers in Arima, Lisa's Garden, in St. Joseph, in Taradale, and in Mayaro to assist applicants. The second is, Mr. President, the program utilizes a structured point-based evaluation system incorporating social vulnerability indicators. These indicators ensure that households experiencing heightened socioeconomic challenges, including those with differently abled members, are assessed with appropriate weight and consideration. And based on our policy, Mr. President, we cover oral disability, visual disability, severe non-ambulatory, mental or cognitive disability, mid, moderate, semi-ambulant, and mild ambulant categories, Mr. President. And applicants who attain the highest rankings under this evaluation framework, that is, those identified as most vulnerable, based on the established indicators, are prioritized for the allocation of approved residential lots. While other factors must also be assessed, including the applicant's financial capacity to purchase the residential lot at a subsidized rate, it remains clear the intention of the program is to prioritize and target households facing significant socioeconomic challenges, including those with differently abled persons.
So if you watch that video, you see the date, right? January 2026. January, February, March, April, May, June. I want to know anybody who have a disability and apply for that grant. Well, apply for the landless. Call us and tell us if you have a disability and you apply. Tell me if you get through now. Or you're still waiting on the eclipse. Let me know if you apply, you fill out your form, you carry your documents, all your accoutrements. Because I said January. So we're in June. June coming close to an end. Because we're heading toward July. Tell me if your documents processing or you're still waiting for the eclipse for that to happen, to even evolve. Right? So you can call and tell us. Because I'm telling you, stop talking nonsense in the parliament and deal with the matters at hand in Trinidad and Tobago. And the main issues are social issues. The main thing in our country right now is social issues, and we have a total social breakdown. That is what you see when you talk there, don't talk it in parliament, you dress up nice in your green. You come, you put on your nice dandan to come and sweeten up people's chops. But when you come on a platform and get updates, don't say it in parliament. You can lie, you can say anything in parliament. The sky blue and you can come and say the sky red in parliament and get away with it. But, yeah, say the eclipse coming in the parliament. But don't come outside on a platform and talk nothing that ain't true, eh? Or still in Santa Claus workshop making. So waiting times and shortages of specialized services may affect quality care, social stigma, and discrimination. And a lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago, especially young people, discriminate people with disabilities. Because young people are not educated, being educated enough about people with disabilities. And I am telling you, that is something that should be taught in schools from early o'clock. How to treat people who are probably disabled equally. People like to laugh at blind. I just watch them young people in town, you know. You're laughing at the blind person before you help the person. You're laughing at them. People who just walk funny and they're using crutches, you're laughing at them. Young people need to be educated a bit more on how you treat people that are disabled. Because at the end of the day, they may be different, but they are human beings. And I would tell anybody, I have a real soft heart and love for people with, I don't call them Down syndrome, I call them Up syndrome. I don't want to call nobody no Down name. I call them Up syndrome. I have a very special place, and children that are autistic, a very special place in my heart for them. I really do love them. So you need to teach young people, go in the schools, teach them how to treat people with disabilities. If you watch places like Japan and China, their children are taught from an early age, even in nursery, how you treat with people with disability, and you will see how they move on the streets. The people with disability have they have an upper hand in their country. They are very respected. But in Trinidad, they're watching them and kiki kaka, is how she walking funny, is how she foot bend up. Illiteracy. Or they don't teach children like that in schools. That should be a part of social studies. But no, we still want to talk about nuclear. Let me tell you something. Social studies need a proper updating. Social studies need a proper update. Like Christopher. Christopher corrupted Columbus. 3 C's. Christopher corrupted Columbus. Don't like that. If you don't like that history about him, every time I think about it, I get vexed. I waste 2 years reading about this man in school. Nothing. Just raping the Amerindians. Murdering them. But anyway, we strain. Producer, you get me upset there, man. Yeah. Oh, God, don't put you up on me, please. You go get me vexed. Right? So negative attitudes, stereotypes, and lack of awareness can lead to exclusion and discrimination. Some individuals may experience isolation or reduced participation in community activities, and that's true. That is the honest truth. But we're going for a break, and I want to play the next clip of our precious, I think he's a precious MP or senator. But wherever he is, we can tell you it's about 60 ministries we have, so I don't know all. So when we come back, we will show that clip. Stay tuned.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure, so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budusing Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
And the last thing I had touched on, welcome back, before we went to the break, this is some individuals, some of them with disability. They may experience isolation or reduced participation in community activities, and this is true. Because if they feel that they are being discriminated against and they are being laughed at, they will get very isolated. They will not want to come out because they will feel that people will poke and make fun of them. And that is true. And that is the illiterate ones. Because anybody with proper common sense will know better. Transportation difficulties. Public transportation is not always designed to accommodate persons with disabilities. People with disabilities have a very, very, very difficult time commuting. Because some of them don't have a vehicle. They don't have no money to pay no TTRS or to hire no car. So moving around is going to be difficult. Because PTSD, I know PTSD don't have provisions for them to move around. So it is very, very, very difficult. This can make it harder to attend school, work, medical appointments, or school events. A lot of disabled people I know, they are homeschooled. Financial burden. And there's the thing. There's what game of it. Being disabled, it is very expensive. Because not all the time people are provided with wheelchairs, crutches. They have to buy it. And it has some business places, they're wicked with the price. They're real wicked with the price. Where families may face additional costs for medical treatment, assistive technology, transportation, and caregiving. Limited employment opportunities can increase financial hardship. So it's how people, not everybody privileged. There are people who suffer from disabilities and not only physical. Because paying for a child to go to a private school, to get that extra care and attention, it is expensive. Sometimes it's $4,000 to $5,000 a term. parents have to pay. And that is not only it. Some of them have to go to speech therapy, have to go to special care after school, and still parents have to spend money. And in this day and age in Trinidad and Tobago, they still don't have them provisions. But there's another clip of a precious one. I tell you, I don't know what ministry he come from. So, don't hurt your head. He just in Parliament.
All citizens, Mr. President, will benefit from this. I want to highlight in particular our partnerships with OpenAI, Grammarly, where we are harnessing the power of AI to improve service delivery, strengthen decision-making across government, and of course, deliver smarter, more efficient solutions to our people. AI, Mr. President, is a defining force in this action. Mr. President, the government has established strong and dependable AI governance frameworks to foster meaningful partnerships with stakeholders. I would go to say, Mr. President, that in the WEF Future of Jobs, which includes those with disabilities, it reveals a net increase of over 78 million jobs by 2030, an unprecedented demand for technology and generative AI skills. These roles, Mr. President, will demand higher order capabilities such as analytic thinking, creative problem solving, technology literacy, and our investment in training for a Trinidad and Tobago that is future ready.
Let me tell you something. Let me say a prayer. Papa God, take control. Before you deal with the situation that we're going through now, you want to tell me about AI for 2030? I tell all they moving back to front today. All they moving back to front. You telling me the issues that are going on right now that we're experiencing right at this present time, you want to tell me about AI? About delivery service? Man, I feel like Larry Joseph comedy show, you know. I have to be, no, we are being punked. I feel we living in the matrix. We sleeping? No. We in Randy Glasgow? We have to be in Randy Glasgow production or Larry Joseph, because I feel we are being punked. We have disability issues right now before you say more PTSD buses that can carry people with wheelchair, more access to medication under CDAP. All listen to this again, because I tell you all here. The man didn't talk about it in now, the man started talk about it in the future. You ever see the Matrix when they tell you take the blue pill or the red pill?
All citizens, Mr. President, will benefit from this. I want to highlight in particular our partnerships with OpenAI, Grammarly, where we are harnessing the power of AI to improve service delivery, strengthen decision-making across government, and of course, deliver smarter, more efficient solutions to our people. AI, Mr. President, is a defining force in this action. Mr. President, the government has established strong and dependable AI governance frameworks to foster meaningful partnerships with stakeholders. I would go to say, Mr. President, that in the WEF Future of Jobs, which includes those with disabilities, It reveals a net increase of over 78 million jobs by 2030, an unprecedented demand for technology and generative AI skills. These roles, Mr. President, will demand higher order capabilities such as analytic thinking, creative problem solving, technology literacy, and our investment in training for a Trinidad and Tobago.
One thing I rate him for, he spoke with confidence. Real confidence. The man says 78 million jobs in 2030, but only can fulfill 20,000 jobs. That's all they promised. Wait. 20,000 jobs that was promised. Only can't fulfill that, but 78 million in 2030. Are you going to break with what kind of understanding this?
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
You know, sometimes you start to get a little laugh. You start to get a little laugh because you ever hear about Kid City Danis things? It's Parliament City Danis things. Because really and truly, I don't understand what's going on. But limited access to information. Information is not always available in accessible formats, such as Braille, large print, sign, language, interpretation, or audio versions. But I know now our money comes with Braille, it has Braille on it, which I really appreciate that, because a lot of people who are visually impaired got robbed with money without Braille. So that was a very good initiative that I will applaud them of doing. So they say this can make it difficult for some individuals to access important services and opportunities. And the next thing too, I know we have not evolved yet as a country because with technology, but I know certain parts of the world, especially when people who are visually impaired are lost, there are certain points that they can go and they can access directions. Because mind you guys, they very well know the direction, good. They know it better than me and you. So they can make difficult for some access important emergency preparedness. During natural disasters or emergencies, people with disabilities may face additional challenges in evacuation, communication, and access to relief. That is why it is very important as a councillor or MP, you know the people in your district or your constituency that are disabled. Because if there's a natural disaster, they are the #1 priority, they and senior citizens. They come first. So no councillors, community leaders, MPs, aldermen, you're supposed to know there's supposed to be a list of all the people that are disabled in your district or your constituency. Because in case of anything, you know exactly where to go, who you're going to, and how you can assist them, because you know what is their disability. So this information should go out, and especially with the ODPM, because the ODPM will always ask that question too. How many disabled people are in your district? So you should, as the person in charge, you should know how many disabled people in your district and exactly where they reside. That is of great importance. So you know, okay, Miss Cynthia, she can't walk. Miss Cynthia living on Donald Street. Let me run to Miss Cynthia. Or you send somebody, a rescue team. That is something important. But I know plenty places. Council ain't even know the name of the street. They ain't even know. And I'm talking across the board. But they're waiting on the eclipse for something to happen. Then to find out that's their district. You know how much people, I could tell you, I call personally and tell them a tree fall. And I said, that's your district. That's my district. I said, so what you was doing for campaign? You ain't shame. That's a big importance, because a lot of councillors and MPs do not know where their bound is, where the bound start and where it end, which is a total disgrace. But when you wanted the vote, you didn't know where the district was, though. You didn't know where the bound was. All right. Representation and inclusion. People with disabilities may be underrepresented in decision-making processes and public discussions that affect their lives. And that is true. How many people speak on behalf or for people with disability? A handful. And you know who does talk on behalf of them? The disabled themselves. Because we, and I included myself in it too, we don't take the initiative to stand in the gap for them. If the disabled have to defend themselves, because it has nobody out there to defend for them. And that is a disgrace. Imagine there's a boy bedridden, went outside, he got leptospirosis, walking in his garden. And for years, that boy coming on the TV begging for assistance. Who went out there? I watched a video with him lay down on a bed because he's bedridden. I don't know if it's him who passed away or someone else. But I think he passed away. Suffer for years. And you know who had to go and visit him? The disabled group. Means he one good, strong kneecap, eyesight, backbone. They standing up for him. But you see, that's not all the business. Because all you're not disabled. But you never know when something can happen to you. A simple aneurysm can make you bedridden. A stroke can make you bedridden. An Accident can make you bedridden. Stress could make you bedridden, or you just get up with a nerve problem and can't walk. I know somebody in particular for years, they have a nerve problem and the doctors don't know what caused it. They don't know what it is. Well, now he is in crutches. He's in crutches today. Wake up a morning and could not walk. And this is for years. And every doctor you go by, they can't find out the problem. So you don't know what tomorrow brings. You could be walking good one day. I could be talking all now. And I get up a morning and can't talk. I could be skipping and hopping happy. And just so I get up and can't walk. So we have to treat these people with utmost respect and with love and some compassion. Because the only people speaking for them is them. And I included myself. I buffet me too. I buffet myself too. Greater inclusion, right? Greater inclusion can help ensure that policies and programs better meet their needs. While Trinidad and Tobago has made progress in promoting disability rights and inclusion, challenges remain in areas such as accessibility, education, employment, healthcare, transportation, and social acceptance. Addressing these issues can create a more inclusive society where persons with disabilities have equal opportunities to participate and succeed. So we have to improve, construct ramps, elevators, sidewalks, accessible public restrooms, ensure public transportation, accommodation for persons with disabilities, strengthen inclusive in education. There's solutions, eh? Remember telling all that when I'm talking to all that, I always getting all the solutions. So they can't say, not can just come here to just complain. I giving the solutions too. Because we have to work together hand in hand, right? But one hand don't clap. You have to train teachers to support students with different disabilities. Provide assistive technologies such as screen readers, braille materials, and hearing devices. Ensure schools have accessible facilities and learning resources. Increase employment opportunities. And that is a major thing. They cannot survive off of disability grants. It's not much. Encourage employers to hire persons with disabilities through awareness programs and incentives. Provide workplace accommodations and accessible work environments. Offer vocational training and skills development programs. Expand healthcare and support services. Improve access therapy, rehabilitation, and specialized medical care. That's important too. Don't tell me I living in the East and I have to go quite Chagonas for a rehabilitation program. I'm madness. Increase the availability of affordable assistive devices. Provide support services for families and caregivers. Promote public awareness. Conduct campaigns to reduce stigma and discrimination. Educate communities about disability and inclusion. Highlight the achievements and contributions of persons with disabilities, and there are plenty of them. Improve access to information, and the list go on. It's real long with solutions. But I gave you all the main ones. And by improving accessibility in education, employment, and healthcare, and so it's a whole lot. So we come into our close. And yes, we catch our kicks. But these are the issues that exist in Trinidad and Tobago. And until you cannot address it, I don't want to hear nothing about no AI. Don't come and tell me nothing about no AI. Don't come and tell me about no land and land for the landless and nothing is being done. Deal with what is going on right now and stop trying to skip. So thank you very much for logging on and tuning in. You know we catch we kicks, but you know we always have to deal with it serious. Because it's serious times. So we ending off the show with a little clip of Mercedes' funeral that is taking place presently. It started at 1 p.m. And there's a clip for you guys to see. Remember, we are not going to forget her. We are not forgetting the people that matters, the people with disability, the people who lose their lives. and the people that are still trying to figure it out on a daily basis. But I leave you guys with Mercedes. Be safe. There's rain out there. Love is love. Love is light. May God be the center of your life. Stay sweet. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
I heard a great voice out of the heaven say, Behold, the tabernacle of God is in them, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them, and they will be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Remain standing as we sing. If you have the program, sing the song. When he comes to make up his shoes.
The views and opinions expressed in the preceding program were those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content was provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.